everybody, welcome back to Toons Reviews. Today we're going to talk about a brand that I have recently discovered. It's been around since 2014. It is from the crazy nose himself, Alessandro Gualtieri, who created Naso Mato, is his brand that was his creation prior to this brand, Orto Parisi. And we're going to discuss 3 of the fragrances that I have purchased so far. I have actually 2 more in the mail on the way, but these 3 have really made an impression on me, and I want to share with you what they represent for me in my journey. So thank you all so much, and I hope you stay tuned. So a few people have recommended this brand to me that I really respect, and I really don't watch YouTubers anymore as far as the fragrance game goes. I've really cultivated a genre of fragrance that I know that I like. There's a lot of different fragrances that I've kind of experienced in the last couple of years that I would have otherwise probably not enjoyed like 4 years ago. I'm really enjoying things that I never enjoyed before, like florals, chypres, and I've really discovered this whole new realm of fragrance. It's a new discovery for me, kind of getting to enjoy some of these other genres. Now, that's not to say that this particular house offers a whole lot of those fragrances that are like more genre bending for men or anything like that as far as florals go, or more unisex leaning fragrances. However, I'm just experiencing this really strange metamorphosis in what it is that I am enjoying, and this brand I think really represents kind of the old taste meeting the new taste. And what I mean by that is my old taste is very heavy centered fragrances like Tobacco Vanille, Amouage Jubilation 25. I loved incense. I love gourmand fragrances. I love woody fragrances. Some fragrances that are a little bit more spicy. These I feel like kind of pack a punch in an interesting way, but they're never too much of anything. They're never too sweet or too gourmand or too heavy in the sense of like it being overbearingly incensey or smoky or woody. It's all like a mishmash of interesting meets contemporary meets one of these genres. So I'm really enjoying Orto Parisi, and I want to start with the fragrance that I picked up first from the brand, and that is Seminalis. Oh, hi there. So Seminalis is essentially supposed to represent sperm, semen, and the attraction that the semen has to the egg. That's the journey of that undeniable attraction. God bless the cats. It's that undeniable attraction of the sperm wanting to meet the egg. That journey that is so profound in creating life and creating love and lust and eventually creating life. So that's really what this whole fragrance is supposed to represent. And I love the juxtaposition that the entire brand really represents. I mean, Orto Parisi means vegetable garden, and then it's of course his grandfather's name. So that is all playing a very interesting role in what these fragrances represent. Now, Seminalis, the juxtaposition being that the fragrance is actually quite beautiful, and then the name is quite primitive. And I love that the Seminalis is a very animalic musk, but not in the sense of it being too sweaty or too filthy. It's just a very, imagine a white musk, almost like a clean white musk, but it's just drenched in sweat. It's like that with tonka bean and sandalwood, and what you get is a very almost, I'm going to use a word that may come across as kind of gross to some, but frothy. It's a very frothy, creamy, almost lactonic experience with the sandalwood and that musk. And there's a really, really beautiful undertone of tonka bean and a little vanilla, but I think it's more tonka bean heavy than it is vanilla. And to me, this really ends up playing out to be quite an animalic sandalwood. And there's not really much that I've experienced on the market that's created a juxtaposition with sandalwood the way that this fragrance has. So this was my first purchase from the line Orto Parisi, and I had to grab it. I blind bought this, actually. I actually blind bought every one of these fragrances. which is something that I really don't recommend and something I really don't partake in very much as my fragrance journey has progressed. I've really kind of learned that sampling is really the best way to make sure that you're not wasting any funds and not getting disappointed with what it is that you're purchasing. And I really do try to make sure that at this particular juncture in this whole journey, I don't waste my time either. However, with this line, I was so confident in the creator, again, Alessandro Gualtieri, that I would love at least a few from the brand, and the way that I had seen some of these described on YouTube in certain reviews and reviewers that I really do find to be quite knowledgeable in what it is that they're discussing, as well as the Fragrantica reviews. I knew that these three that I started with were going to be ones that I would love, or at least liked a whole lot. Now, funny enough, Seminalis is actually my least favorite of the three that I've got in front of me. But when I did buy it, I was so blown away by what it was, and I still love it. I mean, this is still a fragrance that I would consider to be a masterpiece. And in fact, I want you all to know out there that this house is in complete awe of this house. It's something that everyone is just sleeping on, and I don't understand why. I slept on it for so long as well, and I'm kind of kicking myself because I could have enjoyed and created all these memories centered around some of these scents up to this point. But I do feel like I found these fragrances at the perfect time in my life, that I'm also kind of having this shift, and it's a very positive shift in a lot of things that are going on in my life. So either way, Seminalis, strong, very, very strong. Seminalis is a fragrance that lasts and projects like a beast. It is a fragrance that contains that DNA that Alessandro is really well known for in cultivating, this like DNA in his fragrances that plays out throughout the entire line. He did the same thing with Nasomato. He uses a musk that really does play out in every one of these fragrances that he's created for Orto Parisi. And for me, this one is definitely a good starting point if you're looking for a more challenging, more interesting sandalwood fragrance. So that is Seminalis, and I highly recommend it. I'm going to do, again, full-fledged reviews on each of these individually as time goes on, but this is just my overview for you all to kind of know where I'm at with my journey with Orto Parisi. The next few fragrances that I got from Orto Parisi, I got as a package. I purchased them both together, and I got them both for very good deals. I think I paid like $110 each for these, or maybe $115. And I really just jumped at it because you don't see these on sale very often. The Seminalis, I believe I got for around $120. And these next two, the one that I'm about to discuss, I was certain would be my favorite. Currently is my second favorite, but I thought would be my favorite for sure because it does have gourmand elements, and gourmand tends to be likely my favorite genre. But this one is called Boccanera, and this one is so gorgeous, you guys. Absolutely phenomenal. This is a dark chocolate with like a chili, like a peppery chili, just a little dash of it, with patchouli and some really, really dense woods. Almost a filthy, musky wood, like wood from a dance floor where everyone has been perspirating and their sweat has become collected on the floor. I'm getting mostly maybe like a cedar wood with sweat. And so that's that musk that he uses in all of his Orto Parisi fragrances, kind of peeking its head out again. This is a very dense fragrance, a very bold fragrance. It's completely wearable. It's an interesting gourmand. It's not overly sweet. It's actually not very sweet at all. It's a very bitter chocolate, a dark chocolate, with that peppery chili element that just gives the right amount of spice, with that sweaty, musky cedar wood that I get. And again, this is something that is just very unique. I think that there is a time and a place to wear a fragrance like this. It's definitely fall and winter, but me being me, I don't really care about that kind of thing, and I will definitely be wearing this for some of those nights in the summer where I'm going to a bonfire or an outside bar or something like that. It is a very gentlemanly fragrance. Definitely can be pulled off by either sex, any of these. However, I do find that this fragrance to me is the most bold out of the 3 that I've got in front of me. The other 2 that are on their way, there's one that I find a little bit more bold than this, which we'll get to when those come in, and I'll do an overview of those 2 as well. But this is just so delightful. And again, it's a bomb. It is a sillage bomb, a longevity bomb, and it just projects for forever and a day. So Boccanera, I believe, translates to whole. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if it's like the opening, like a butt or a mouth. I think it's a juxtaposition playing on both. Correct me if I'm wrong. So again, it's like the feeding, like the edible quality through your mouth, and then that dense quality for when you defecate. So again, a very interesting juxtaposition with this one as well, and my second favorite offering from the line. So finally, and of course, the best was left for last, I think, in this particular case. I was very surprised by this being my favorite. I thought that this was still going to be a wonderful fragrance, but certainly not the one that I enjoy the most out of, again, all of the fragrances that I have in front of me. The Seminalis was one that I thought I was going to like the most, because sandalwood and like vanilla, those kinds of fragrances are really like top tier for me. Sandalwood being one of my favorite notes. The Boccanera being probably my second favorite. That one was correct, but this one, Bergamask, is my favorite. Now this is supposed to represent a festival and kind of these sweaty bodies dancing in this beautiful area where there's all these citruses, the bergamot, and there's a lot more going on in this fragrance than just bergamot and musk. I don't think Bergamask is necessarily just a mishmash of bergamot and musk put together as one word. There is definitely a ISO-y super vibe in there, a cedarwood, a sandalwood, and there's kind of like a bit of a grapefruit tanginess in there, and overload of bergamot and beautiful white musk. Now, this fragrance to me is quickly going to climb to one of my absolute favorite fragrances to use as a daily driver. I think that this is an excellent fragrance for anyone that's looking for a signature scent. This is casual. It could also be dressed up in a suit. It's beautiful for the spring and summer, but it also has balls behind it to last in the winter and the fall. This stuff is nuclear. I'm telling you right now, I put on 4 sprays of this and it just projects like a bee's to sillage, the wafting scent in the air. A lot of people love this. I've already gotten compliments with this. The other 2 have, well, actually, I lied. Seminalis has received a couple compliments, but Boccanera has not. But Bergamask has by far so far been the people pleaser of the 3. And it's also the one that I've enjoyed wearing the most. It's just such an easy fragrance to like and get along with. The bergamot is just beautiful and bright and authentic and juicy, and it has a sourness to it, a ripeness to it at the same time, a tartness, and it just matches that almost sweaty muskiness with the woods so well. Really love this. I highly recommend it, especially if you're looking for a fragrance for the summer. These 3 have made a huge impression on me. I am looking forward to my other 2 purchases from the house, being Toroni and Megamari, and I will cover those when they come in the mail. I hope you all enjoyed. I really recommend checking out the house if you have not. Again, I think that this house is being slept on. I am enjoying this more than Naso Mato, which is a house that I adore and have loved since it's come out. So please check these out. They are phenomenal, phenomenal fragrances. So far, I'm saying at least 4 out of 5 stars for each of these. So check them out. I hope you all enjoyed, and keep it tuned for the next video. I will see you all soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye.